down her, like, how are you going to win the trust back of any of these women, except for if we all just decide to fake it? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we've sort of blew our load here real early.
Well, there is somebody who agrees with you, and her name is Lisa, and her last name is Barlow. Lisa Barlow has just tweeted, like, no, like, when you expose your whole hand and there's nothing left, that's the end. That's the swan song. It's over. That's what we say. Now, granted, I always refer to Aviva throwing her leg at LeCirque, and then she gets fired. Like, how could you get fired after that? Now we've learned that Radswell had a hand in that and spoken the producer's ears. And also, Aviva didn't go on the cast trips because she's agoraphobic, so maybe not the best example. But yeah, it's like episode 2 of Beverly Hills 2 seasons ago when I said this is Lisa Rinna's last season, and everyone told me I was insane. And then at the end, my good friend Catherine Edwards got in my ear, and I flip-flopped and said, oh yeah, you're right, Lisa's coming back. Should have stuck with my initial. It's like that. It's like when you, it's like Dorinda going after Tinsley. It's like when you just put it all out there and there's nothing left, the car's out of gas. Where do we go from here? I get it, but I think she's coming back. Like,
Oh, I think they left it enough of a cliffhanger, right? I mean, of course, now we see Monica, she's all glammed up. She's holding a newspaper. She updated the picture on Reality Von T's Instagram to be her. I mean, she's just totally leaned into this, like playing it like perfectly, right? So there's enough. You're like, obviously we have the reunion. We'll get some answers. Now the reunion's already been filmed. So now there's even more questions that are going to come. So, I mean, I think Monica gets and look, I mean, the other person who is fueling this almost like the Bethany Frankel is Jen Shah, because even though Mr. Cohen has come out and said, oh, there's no hard feelings. I wanted her to do a special, but Jen was so demanding about what she wanted, and she wanted a reality show of her own and all this stuff. And I've completely forgotten about her. Jen is a dummy because I think Bravo, this. I mean, people are revengeful. Andy wants nothing more than now to see Jen, just like die with envy in jail that she could have been on that show. So I think out of spite, Monica gets back on, despite Jen, And I think there's always a level sometimes with corporations, like you're with us or you're against us. And I think that, just out of my Monica has fallen under the luckiest of stars, because I mean, even the mom has been exposed as such a phony, their fights and everything, right?
she has a whole storyline with the mom next season. And
it's like so stupid because we know we know they're dysfunctional, but they're probably not to the level they play up. And again, I think Monica has a credibility issue now. I mean, who's going to tell her anything, and who's going to believe her when she says, I didn't say this. I didn't say that. It's like, oh, really, bitch? Okay, well, you're on, you've done this. I honestly think, though, out of spite to Jen Shah and to kind of sort of like bury Jen Shah a little bit further, they will keep Monica on because Jen is done. I think Cosby's done. Why do we need Mary? Why do we need
I think, and also, so I also, just FYI, I think Lisa Barlow is wrong. You're wrong, Lisa. She is coming back. I don't understand the whole, like, I get it. Like, we were tricked, and we'll get into, because Jen says producers know, but like, so if you were tricked and infiltrated by a fan account, I mean, Jen stole millions and wasn't fired. I mean, Jen is in jail. Would Jen Shah be fired from this show if she was not locked up behind bars?
No.
I mean, Teresa went to camp and she ain't fired. I mean, so I don't really understand the out.
I mean, Shannon Bedore is most likely could have killed herself, somebody else. Luann, I love Luann. Luann DUI. I mean, a lot of them have these legal issues. I mean, would Joe Giudice be back on TV if they were still married? 100%.
Juicy Joe is an icon. Of course he would. Yeah, so I understand this maybe is different because it tricked the producers and the other things. But I mean, you also didn't know about, Jen being a criminal when you hired her. That was a trick. Surprise. And I guarantee you producers don't know a lot of things that these people have done. So I don't really understand. I understand it. It's more like, oh, a fan is on the TV. Well, we're past that. I mean, we're to your point, we're in season 18 over here. It's like 20 years later. Yes, that's the world we live in. There's burners and finstas and troll accounts, and it's shocking it took this long for somebody to get on. Like, so she's not going anywhere. I totally agree with you. Heather can sit there all day. I mean, they listen. You ask how we go forward. Well, this is the 5th season we're going into. Everyone is now in the 500s, 600,000s, 400, we're getting $400,000 to $600,000, except for Angie K. I mean, they'll find a way and and look, how are we all going to fill with Tom Sandoval? Well, guess what? Sheena Shea was the first crack, and now Lala's cracked. I mean, we'll eventually get there. It'll be very interesting. And I love that it also breaks the fourth wall. We now have to talk next season about burners and trolls and finstas. Hi, Margaret Josephs. Hi, girl. Get those finstas in line, Margaret. Melissa's old nose and everything else. Get them all in line, guys, over in Jersey. Come on now.
I thought you two were back, like being somewhat friendly.
I really, 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 from the bottom of my heart, have absolutely nothing against Margaret. I like the woman. She's great. I think she's great. I was friends with her. I truly have nothing against her. I just got to be honest. I think she sits up at night in the bed, like they say, and Joe is like, "Come on, Marge, go to bed." And she's like, "Just hold on. I got a couple more finstas. Lexi, get me the other phone. I need the finsta." And she has phones everywhere, and phones are falling out of her ass, and they're under the bed. And she's like, "This finsta on this account, this burner phone." Oh, shit. Listen, Margaret's a very smart woman. So do I think she has the finstas going at all hours in the bed with the rollers and the Lady Macbeth hair products? I do. But I got nothing against you. I like Margaret Josephs. I hope I run into her today in LA. We'll have a drink. Well, she doesn't drink. Fuck. We'll have a soiree. Give her a shout out.
She eat edibles. Like, you guys can go to a pot lounge.
Everyone, Margaret, have a drink. It's fun to drink. So what was I gonna say? She's not.
I got some follow-up. I got some other questions.
Okay, because we got to get into the Jen Shah of it all too. Ask your
what we have to do.
questions.
Well, Tanisha, the friend, what do you make of that? Why is Tanisha inserting herself and like completely outing her friend? Is this a ploy to be on the next season, or just
Let me tell you something.
Monica's a shitty person?
Let me tell you something. Remember how Margaret had a friend? Forgot what her name was. I think her name was Laura. I'm being sarcastic. Now, Laura's going to now text. Look at all the text messages between us. What do you mean you don't know who I am? You're such a fucking liar. Get a job. You can't just get on the show because you're in the mix of the drama. You know what I mean? Like, let's not forget, I was like best friends with Jennifer Aiden, and then we had a falling out because I became friends with Margaret. I was in the middle of all this drama. I ain't on the show. It doesn't work that way. So you have to be on brand. I don't think Tanisha is angling to get on the show. Rumor is Tanisha with Reality T. Hi guys, they're very nice. They run my podcast. Tanisha, apparently, Reality T reached out to her and said, blah, blah, blah. And she said, girl, how much for the story? So Tanisha apparently is going around trying to get a money grab from everyone. Look, more power to you, girl. If you want money, guess what? My name is David Yontef. This is Sarah Fraser. Call